Hi everyone, I'm the plant propagator and welcome to my channel. Well, I made it through one pass, my first pass of cleaning and resurrecting my orchids. It's been a good couple of days. As you can tell, I got the bougainvillea off these trees, off the ground. I put a strap onto the main stalk of the plant, pulled it back. It's not up there very good, but it's up there. I think I need to trim down a lot more of the branches. It's kind of sticking up in the air a little more. I just didn't get it back quite in the right place. So I got a little bit of work left to do, but I did make it through a pass of my orchids. I kind of know what I have. It's my first pass because I've got a lot more to do. I've got a lot of plants that are in that got damaged pretty bad, and we'll see what happens to those. A lot of what was really ripped up was in the top part of my shelves here, so it was up in the bougainvillea itself, which got ripped off, and I got a lot of dens that were getting really big that were growing up through this plant, and you know, I wasn't really many of them were no ID. I wasn't taking care of them. They were just up there growing like crazy, doing well. But you know, the main ones that I emphasize are not the dens, but the cattleyas and some of the other plants, and those were spread out in other places, and those didn't seem to be as damaged. So I've got a few that I want to share with you, and all of these that I have to share with you today and from now on, the flowers weren't open when the hurricane came through a week ago, so these are all new blooms on these plants. If the flowers were open, they just got they're pretty delicate, and they just got shredded. Incredible wind damage. There was strong winds here. So everything that I have that I want to share with you today and next time, and I got a lot of stuff coming. It's pretty exciting how much you know, how they did. And you know, I'm getting surges of growth already, and how these things are just really starting to look really nice again. I haven't even fertilized yet. I haven't even gone through and done that. I've been so busy kind of, you know, reattaching the plants to their hangers and kind of reorganizing, cleaning the pots out. There was just so much debris in the pots because what happens, these trees that have these little thin leaves, they get windburn, and then all the leaves fall out of the trees. So I've been cleaning things up and doing that, and haven't had a chance to kind of repot too much stuff and to do and divide or to do anything like that needs to be done. But let me focus in on, I've got 4 plants I want to share with you today. I have a lot more coming. I'm pretty excited. But I've got 4 plants, and many and of these plants, I think they were blooming during the hurricane, and those flowers again got kind of destroyed, but and are gone. But these are all new blooms that have been opening up within the week, and some of them I've witnessed the opening of them, and some of them I just assumed that they were open. But let me go through them one at a time. I've got 2 Oncidium types and 2 cattleyas that I wanted to share with you. So let's take a look at the Oncidium, and this is one that I have a few of these plants, and it doesn't look great. But this is Miltassia Dark Star Darth Vader, and I got this plant a few years ago, and it got really big. It's one of those plants that it was in a big pot. The pot fell out of, I think it might have been right up here. The pot fell out of here, hit the ground, shattered, and I don't know, I think I got like 6 plants out of it after it just kind of fell apart and crumbled. I have 3 plants remaining. I gave the other 3 away, and this is one of those that is right now blooming. The flowers on this are big for an Oncidium. They're not fragrant, and I think it's a good reliable bloomer. I should say the other two plants that I have from this division are smaller than this and aren't blooming, but they're doing okay. So I haven't tried crossing this on anything yet, but I really like this because of it's a large flower. It's got spotting in the petals and sepals, and it's just, for me, it's just a really really nice plant. It's very tolerant of growth under these conditions here. I think it'll get big. I have it just in a combination of lava stone and leca, which is where I have most of my orchids, and it seems to be doing pretty well with not much care. All right, so let's move on from this one. The next one that I have here is another Oncidium that's right next to it, and that's right here. And this is a I think it's a Brassidium Kenneth Bivens right here. And I've had this plant, and I should say the first Oncidium that I showed you I got from a colleague who was selling, a colleague Glenn, who was selling his collection, and I appreciate Glenn selling me this orchid. This one was purchased from Sundance Orchids in Fort Myers, and the plant itself, and actually I didn't like the plant that much, but the plant propagator Junior really liked it, so it's her plant. That's what I tell her. And this plant is kind of a surprise. It has some really nice, the flowers are nice, large, yellow, spotted, and I really like the look of the plant and the flowers themselves. I texted the plant propagator Junior yesterday, and I said it's blooming because the first bloom opened, and already there are 3 more blooms open today. There were some old bloom spikes that were on this that I guess the flowers just got shredded on those, and those were gone. But this opened for the first time yesterday, and it just continues to open. The flowers continue open. She asked me in a text whether it was fragrant. And at that time, I told her I didn't know, it wasn't, but I smelled it today and it might have been, but I'm not. Let me take a whiff. Oh, it's a big pot. I don't smell anything on here, but it's still got some really nice flowers. And again, what happened is I got this home and it was in a small pot, but when I looked at it, the roots were just so packed into the pot that I put it into a larger pot, and I put, this is one of the few plants that I have where there's bark. They're 100% orchiata bark, this plant. But this thing, I bought it a little over a year ago. I think it's like a year and 2 months ago. It has bloomed for me, I think, like 3 or 4 times. I don't know if it's a constant bloomer, but it does bloom a lot for me. And like I said, it had a couple of other bloom spikes on it that you could tell were fairly fresh. They were green, but there were no flowers on it, so the flowers had all been were all gone. But I like this plant. Seems to be growing pretty good. It's not, the plant itself is not getting bigger, but it just keeps on putting out new flower spikes. So I'm really happy with that. Again, this is Kenneth Bivens, and I think the cultivar is Santa Barbara. All right, so again, this one right here. The next one that I want to show you is, and I should say both of these Cattleyas were purchased from RF Orchids, and I really like the Cattleyas that I buy from RF. They get their orchids from good vendors, but a lot of vendors in this area in Florida, you see a lot of the same orchids. So these guys are all getting many of them are getting their orchids from the same hybridizers and growers and sellers and flaskers in Thailand. So I think that's where this came from. And it is from Thailand, because this is Siam Fancy. And this is Wings of Fire is the cultivar. So this also, I looked at this, and this also has some fresh flower spikes on it with no flowers. I think this one opened up fairly recently. It's got some really nice fragrance to it. This is located up in my pergola, but just a single bloom. But there were other blooms on this previously. I don't know if there might have been. No, that's not. There might have been. This I think is the fourth spike to come out on this plant, and this is the last bloom. It's got some really striking coloration because the sepals are different colors than the petals and the lip. It is a flared cattleya, but only on this spike there's only a single bloom, and the flowers just turned a little bit of sideways. But it does have some nice fragrance to it. I can't tell you it's kind of a sweet, soapy, rosy fragrance that's associated with this plant. And really vigorous. It's got a new pseudobulb here, and new pseudobulbs over here as well. I can see one coming up from the inside. That's an old flower. So this plant is nice. I think that it's probably going to have to, it's not quite ready to be repotted. I like this orchid because it's self-contained, so it's a big orchid in not a huge pot. Nice form, good resistance to the local pests. So it's a nice plant. I think I have used this in some of my crosses, and I've got some seedlings coming from using this as a parent, and I think I'm pretty excited about this as a parent. Okay, the last plant that I want to share with you, it's this guy right here, and this is going crazy. I also got this from RF Orchids. And this is the label. I'll remember. I can't remember the name of this. So on the label it says Pink Diamond times Chialin, but this is, I think it's River Kwai Pink. I'll put the name up on the screen so you can see it. This plant is going nuts. Same type of thing, a nice well-contained plant in in not a huge pot, but it's just growing. It's growing over the side of the pot. It's growing up. It's probably going to be ready to be repotted pretty soon, maybe after it's done flowering. This flower, this one right here, opened up 2 days ago, so it was just starting to open when I returned here to Southwest Florida. The flowers are just intensely pink and purple, with some yellow in the lip. There is, in the throat. There is, it's intensely fragrant. So I put this on my front lanai that's screened. All you got to do is walk out of my front lanai. It's windy, it's open, doesn't matter, and you can smell this plant. This is a really fragrant plant, and the colors on this are incredibly intense. Now, the other thing about this plant, it's kind of heavy. There are other bloom spikes that are close to opening. So there's 3 open flowers on this plant right now. There are 4 blooms on this spike right here that'll probably be open in a day or 2. There are 3 blooms on this spike that I think are probably going to be open in 3 to 4 days. There are an additional 3 spikes that are in sheath. So this one is in sheath. This one probably about 2 weeks out on that. That doesn't have one there. I know. This one right here. And that's a little bit far out too. I thought there was another one that was closer. So there are going to be, from looking at this, there are going to be 6 sheaths that are 6 sheaths that are going to be open. Each one of those is going to have 3 to 4 flowers. Now, I don't know whether these will they'll be lasting as long as some of the other ones that haven't gotten going yet, but still, this is going to be some intense coloration and intense fragrance with this plant. So I'm pretty excited about this. I mean, already this is so fragrant. You get close to it and it's incredibly fragrant. I should say I'm growing this, and I also, for this plant, I grow this in my pergola, and it blooms reliably. This is once a year bloomer. It blooms reliably in October. I've had this for 3 years. And it's bloomed every year that I've had it. I don't think this much, but it's bloomed every year that I've had it. So this is just a great plant, and I've used this in my crosses. There are enough flowers on this I'm going to use it this round too. So anyway, this is a great cattleya right here. All right, I do want to, and so these, I'm done talking about these, and I want to share with you one other thing. And so my next video, I have to talk about these. This is one of my dens that was on the top shelf behind me, and so you can see what happened. It fell out of the pot. The pot just shattered, but it's starting to bloom. So I've got some for this dendrobium. It's an OID dendrobium. It's got some new canes growing out of it. It has new blooms coming out of it that are open. So these weren't blooming. It's got some old flowers that I think might have been torn off when it got knocked out off the shelf. But I'm gonna have to cut this up. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. It's a no ID. I might just put it in the neighbor's tree, or take pieces of it and put it in the neighbor's tree. Anyway, I've got a lot of dens around all over the place here that are in the shade, that in many cases don't have any pot on it, which is not good for this plant. It'll be okay, but I think I'm going to do. I'm going to have to do something just to share with you what I'm going to do with all of these dendrobiums. I even have many of my seedlings that I've grown that were just too big for their pots, and that were up here on the shelf that got knocked off. So this is just kind of a teaser to let you know that I'll be doing some it may be dendrobium recovery video or something like that. All right, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed my video, and I'm happy I'm getting some blooms coming back on my plants. More coming. I can see them from here. I'm going to share those with you. I'm going to show you the dens and what I'm going to do with all those. If you like what you saw today and you want to keep on seeing them, it would help me out if you can click on like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. All right, that's all I have for you. Again, I hope you enjoyed it, and happy propagating.